Hello, I'm Nisse Palm and you are watching Chain of Sounds, and today's guest is
Nina de Henny.
I would like to know a little more about you.
Well, I grew up in Switzerland, outside Geneva, in a musical family from on my mother's side, and I was provided different choices, and I finally started to play the double bass when I was 14. My brother also played double bass, and I bought a double bass behind my parents' back.
Oh, really?
So I sort of smuggled it to a rehearsal space in the town next, a town called Nyon. And in that town I also experienced many great concerts, because my geography teacher was one of the curators for the festival, and he used to he used to chaperone us pupils.
So you were devoted already as a 13, 14-year-old
yeah, I mean,
to play bass?
To play bass, but also to hear a lot of free jazz, because this festival there was a lot of free jazz there. But also I heard Charles Mingus live, Cecil Taylor, I mean, yeah, lots of great names. And this obviously made a big impression on me. I kind of understood without intellectually understanding. Somehow I got some very deep experiences about what music was about, the energy in music, not the technical stuff, but the power of music.
But how come you say you smuggled a bass behind your parents' back?
Yeah, because there was already one bass player in the family, and who had to be driven around.
Aha. All right. Okay.
And I played the cello for a few years, and my boyfriend was a saxophone player, and he said, "Couldn't you switch to the bass?" So I worked one summer in a shop, and
to buy your instrument.
I bought half of the bass.
Okay.
And then the music shop called my mum and said, "There's still half of a bass not paid." So that's the way she found out. And I moved to the States when I was 19 to study, first at Berklee College of Music, and then I heard that Miroslav Vitus was teaching in a very renowned conservatory called New England Conservatory, and I started taking private lessons for him, and then I transferred, and then I studied 2 years with him. Those years when I studied with him, and even afterwards, I think, I mean, because I just studied classical with him. So he just said, "Get your shit together, Nina."
Yeah, so
and I practiced 8 hours a day. And and then I really understood that the history of the bass, and to express the instrument, I really wanted to get the bow technique, not only the pits. And Miroslav has a fantastic pizzicato and a fantastic bowing technique, and the phrasing, and it was a very big. I heard him live many times in Boston.
And did you stay working in the States?
No, I moved to Sweden in '83.
Yeah.
And then I just tried to freelance, and then I had 2 kids, and then I had 3 more kids.
All right.
With another guy, a very good bass player. So I tried to combine family life a big family with
5 kids
yeah.
and freelancing as a bass player.
Yeah, so and
Okay,
I didn't want to be out gigging so much. So if I had gigs, they were like just overnight.
Yeah.
But I was just practicing at home a lot when the kids were sleeping or having the afternoon nap. I used to.
You seem to be strong-headed in terms of your ambition as a musician.
Well, I think it came from having had to stop playing bass every time I gave birth to a kid, and the last months of pregnancy. There's a physical barrier. And maybe this contributed to me every time, after every kid, do I really want this? After my first 2 kids, I went back to study music at the conservatory in Gothenburg, and I had a fantastic classical bass teacher called Ferdinand Lipa.
Another Czech
and
guy.
I continued the Czech bass tradition, which
Yeah.
I'm very grateful. I mean, he meant a lot.
Ferdinand has a fantastic reputation as a pedagogue and tutor.
Yeah, he was so enthusiastic and he was great. He was really great.
You have a really nice and interesting cooperation with a dancer.
Yeah, which has meant a lot to me. I mean, and also because through working with a dancer and the same dancer, and to improvise with a dancer, and I had to discover all the possibilities I could find on the bass. So it was also a long-term work of exploration.
Yeah, that has been a big part of your life, right?
Yeah. And we even had a festival called Dance and Bass.
Yeah.
That we started in 2007, and the last edition was 2011.
We spoke a little before about you have been working really hard with exploring the sonar possibilities of the bass.
Yeah, and then I also have played during a long time with a fantastic piano player called Lisa Åhlén, and we have a duo, and I think also these long-term collaborations have meant a lot.
As a teenager, you listen a lot you listen to free jazz and free
and jazz, Coltrane,
jazz and free,
Miles Davis, all the.
But you brought that all the way to now, still playing. You want to be free. You have paid a price as well.
I mean, when it comes to gigs, So, but I've been surviving thanks to grants. From the Swedish Culture Office.
Yeah.
And also from the region here, and but right now I'm working full time as a pupil assistant for children with special needs. So right now I'm not practicing so much.
Is that a part of your decision not to compromise?
Well, when I was 40, I decided that I was not going to do any more theater gigs, any more jazz gigs, because I didn't feel I was felt too confined in this traditional. Role
with all respect,
and then I felt I didn't fit into the classical genre because I also felt too restrained.
I think I understand what you're saying.
So I felt that with an improvisation, with no idiomatic rules, that I could find my space.
So when you create from zero, do you just like switch on an open mind, or do you have like any?
Well, you know, the way I practice is basically to switch on that mind.
Yeah.
I mean, every now and then I stop and I check out stuff, but I mean, I like practicing and I like playing, so I try to combine.
I'm thinking you have also been working as cons in an organization.
Yeah, it's an association in Gothenburg called Levande Musik, which is one of the town's eldest music association for, I mean, contemporary music. And we're a board of 7-8 people, and we curate series in the spring and in the fall. And for me, it's very important that if I'm a musician doing this experimental music, that I also contribute behind the scene and we invite musicians and give them great conditions.
Yeah. You're going to play on Eleanor's new built bass that Magnus actually owns, and you had a few minutes of testing.
On Spyrocore, but I mean it was really easy to play and sounds great. Yeah.
So is that a good enough start for you to go down there and just?
Well, I'll do my best.
I would say, I hope you are an inspiration for others who wants to explore the narrow path.
I mean, I hope it rubs off somehow, that even if one doesn't want to only play that kind of music, but I think it can enhance even one's approach to music in general, that because one has to be really a very present in the moment, and I think it can enhance.
Yeah, open up your ears, open up your soul for something.
Exactly,
that
because
you didn't
you have
expect.
to be connected with music, with the music you're playing. I'm
so glad that you took your time. Thank you, Nina,
Thank you so much for inviting
doing this
me.
with us.
Thanks.
And best of luck.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Bye.